Egypt. Egypt's top intelligence officials saying that Israel totally dropped the ball. They ignored huge warning signs that something big was coming from Hamas in Gaza, and they did nothing to stop it. In other words, Egypt says Israel knew this was coming. They warned Israel. They had multiple conversations about it. They admitted this. Israel has arguably the most sophisticated intelligence service in the world, and yet they purposefully didn't do anything to stop it. Egypt says they knew about it. So if that's true, why would they do that? Why would Israel ignore a potential attack?
How many people know who Julian Assange is? Do you know who that guy is? He's the creator of WikiLeaks. All that was a database of different types of evidence. Whistleblowers would send him, and he would give it out to the public so we could all look it up. You know, the truth. And he's sitting in jail because the government says he acquired stolen emails from Hillary Clinton. But that's not true. This guy actually worked for Hillary Clinton, and supposedly he gave them to Julian Assange. But he's also dead. So how can Julian prove it? I don't know. I don't know, guys. But that's why Julian's in jail. Because of her emails. Now, what did Julian say, though? Let's check this one out. CIA created ISIS? Says Julian Assange. Well, that could get you put in jail. As WikiLeaks releases 500,000 US cables. Doesn't that blow your mind? How could the CIA create ISIS? Or the Taliban? Or Hamas? How is that possible? Is that real? I mean, Julian's sitting in jail for sharing the truth. He looks like this, but with an even longer beard. He's sitting there, 23-hour lockdown, for sharing truth on the internet. Do you think it's real? And if this is real, what's so hard to think that Israeli Mossad didn't create Hamas? You know why? Because here in America, everybody knows that Trump won that damn election. There's no doubt in your mind. Even the ding-dongs on the left, they know Trump definitely won. So what does that mean? It means something happened with our elections that when we put in a vote, it doesn't go where we want it to, right? Right. But what about this? The 7 governments that the U.S. has overthrown. Iran, CIA. And this is what they've admitted to. Guatemala. Now, this one's all about a fruit company. Gotta keep that cheddar rolling. Gaddafi. Gaddafi only wanted to get paid in gold. He said no more U.S. petrodollar. And yeah, he got offed. Look at what Gaddafi offered all of his people. Look, newlyweds, 50 grand if you get married to find a house. 5 grand if you have a baby. Free healthcare, free electricity, no interest on loans. And the citizens received a percentage of all sales, and petrol was 14 cents a liter. But he threatened the US petrodollar. He said, I will only take gold for my oil. And since we were the world's dominating currency, stating you can't trade oil except in the US petrodollar. Just think about that, guys. Think about it. How's it been since the government keeps printing more money? How's your inflation? Most people are like, well, the news says 7%. Oh, the news says 7%.
It's 67 words long, it's 100 years old, and it changed the course of history for the Middle East and the Jewish people. The Balfour Declaration, the expression of the British government's support for a Jewish home in Palestine, was sent by British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour to the second Lord Rothschild. I'm here in Buckinghamshire at Waddesdon Manor to speak with the fourth Lord Rothschild about the Balfour Declaration, what it means for Britain, for the Jewish people, and the Rothschild family.
That's it right there. That's the Rothschild's name, who was a Zionist. There you go, guys. The state of Israel, which if you didn't know, Orthodox Jews are against it. Why? Because what I've found is that the Jews are infiltrated by the Zionists. And they're using the Jews as a shield. Zionists are completely different than Orthodox Jews. Orthodox Jews promote compassion. They love their neighbors. But the Zionists can be complete atheists. Did you know that? And did you know that the state of Israel is ran by Zionists?
And stuff. After being there, man, holy shit, I feel like people have no idea. I didn't even know what the hell was going on until I went to Palestine and saw how crazy it was. But
What is it like? Give me your thoughts on your
So
experience.
everyone mistakenly thinks that Hamas controls Palestine. That's not true at all. There's 3 different areas that were drawn up with the original partition. It's the West Bank, which is totally under military rule by Israel, and then there's the Gaza Strip, which is like the open air prison, which they bomb the shit out of like every couple of years, and Hamas controls that area. And
you didn't know? So Gaza is a concentration camp. It is blockaded on all sides. Because Hamas was installed like a toilet, no different than the CIA created ISIS, Mossad would be the creators of Hamas. Why? Why, guys? Create the problem, implement the solution. Once you see their tactics, it's super easy to catch them. So everybody in America is pretty aware, yeah, if you vote, it doesn't count. And if that could happen here, it could definitely happen in the Gaza Strip, right, in Palestine. Don't you think? So check this out. So somehow Hamas got voted in. Once that happened, they put a full blockade on Gaza. It is literally a concentration camp. Look, that little piece right there is Gaza Strip. It's surrounded on all sides. If you get within 300 meters of the fence, you get shot. Thousands were shot in 2018 alone. If you try to leave by water, you will get shot. So the coastline's 170 miles. I showed a video where it shows how long it takes jets to scramble. Anywhere from 2 minutes to 15 minutes. If they were to scramble in a couple minutes, even at the maximum, 15 minutes, they could be anywhere within Israel in minutes because they have 300 F-16s alone. So why didn't they respond? Why did they fail to take action? Let's hear what that girl has to say. Let's continue on with hers.
That both Arabs and Jews live in. But the West Bank has been occupied militarily since 1967, and it's complete martial law. There's checkpoints. All political parties are illegal. You can't, having a gun is like the least of it. You can't hold a flag. You can't belong to a political party. You literally can't do shit if you're a Palestinian. You just have to sit there and submit. And even if you share a photo of someone who was like killed by an Israeli soldier, you go to jail, and you go to jail for the amount of like months that,
What?
yeah, based on the shares and likes of the photo, they'll penalize you more and put you in prison for longer and longer. I mean, I'll just tell you one story.
If you put a photo on social media, like you
Of
put
someone
on
who
Facebook,
died, and they'll be like, you're sharing a martyr and inciting people to like commit suicide, like on behalf of Palestinians, you go to jail, and they put them in jail. There's 99.7% conviction rate. Kids are tortured. Kids are in prison. It is absolutely insane. We went to, the first day that we were there, we went to a funeral of some guy, some farmer who was shot by Israeli forces, and we went to the funeral. It was horrible. You know, all the women are wailing and crying, and as we're leaving, the Israeli forces had set up a checkpoint right outside of this dude's house and started tear gassing and shooting rubber bullets like at people who were simply attending the funeral, just to punish people for attending the funeral. We went to another girl's house named Aya, who got shot in the vagina for peacefully protesting at some protest, and they shot 200 people that day. One guy next to her died. Another guy was paralyzed. They have a policy called shoot to cripple, where they shoot guys in the dicks. Yeah. It is fucking nuts, man. The West Bank is no joke. I thought that I was going to die several times. We were at this checkpoint going through Calandia, and there was this old man walking, like clearly drunk or something, and kind of like walking a little bit toward the checkpoint. They started shooting at him. Bullets are ricocheting off the thing. And my partner Mike, who was an invading soldier of Iraq, was just like, we're going to die. Like, they're shooting this guy. There's bullets ricocheting. It was absolutely insane. And as we go through the checkpoint, the soldier's like, hey, stay safe out there. And I was like, yeah, when you guys are arbitrarily shooting people. And the person who was driving us had just told us that a couple months prior to that, some woman, Palestinian woman, because you can't go to Jerusalem. Like, if you're Palestinian, there's like barely any Palestinians who are even allowed to go pray at the most holy site, the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. You can't go to the beach. You're just completely constricted in a prison, and you can't travel. And he was just telling us that months before we went through this checkpoint, someone was going through the checkpoint because they got a permit to go into Jerusalem, which is like a lifetime golden ticket, like Willy Wonka. And they're walking, and she just got executed. And then,
what?
Yeah, she just got executed, and she was bleeding out at this checkpoint, and her little brother tried to help her, and they shot him too. And they're like hiding the video of this. And
Why
this is
they
just a
shoot
day
her?
because they fucking hate Palestinians, and Palestinians are animals to these people. It's sick, man. It's sick.
You have to understand, Zionist Jew, completely different. Those are the ones that are sick. Those are the ones that commit atrocities. The Zionists, not the Orthodox. Let me show you the difference.
So what brings you here today? To support Palestinian rights. We as Jews are embarrassed what's happening there in the state of Israel, in the Jewish name. And what's your message to the people of Palestine? They shouldn't give up the struggle. They should continue to fight and not give up the struggle against the state of Israel, because by the end, Palestine will be free, because this is truth. Will succeed by the end. What's your message to the people of Palestine?
They should know. We feel very shame what's going on there, especially they're doing everything in our name, in the name of Jews, in the name of the Torah, in the name of God. It's so shameful. We are with you. You have to know. The Zionists are strong. We are weak. But God is on our side. At the end of the day, the Palestinian flag will be on all Palestine, from the river to the sea.
And there's a Zionist. So you see, guys, this guy's also one. He says he's going to get like 2,300 slaves. So they have completely different belief systems. These are both Zionists, or he was one. But Zionists are everywhere, guys. The goal is to not be divided by the elite.